Another year and another Summer Game Fest has been and gone, with huge showcases from Xbox, Ubisoft, Geoff Keighley, and even our own Future Game Showcase. From world premieres to new gameplay and release date reveals, everyone saw the mega big hits, like Gears of War E-Day and the new gorgeous Fable gameplay. But there were plenty of games that didn't quite grab as many headlines, so strap in because I've gathered the FGS team to tell you about 10 amazing games that were announced at Summer Games Fest that you may have missed. 1. Atomfall.
You know what would be amazing? A Fallout game set in the UK. I've lost count of the amount of times I've heard this idea, and while I will always agree, it's been clear for a good while that Bethesda only has eyes for US locations in their post-apocalyptic series. Yes, there's the Fallout mod, which has been cruelly set back by the latest Fallout 4 update, but an official title that takes place in Old Blighty just doesn't seem possible. Well, lucky for us, Rebellion, arguably most well known for the Sniper Elite series, said, "Fuck it, let's cook," and the result is Atomfall, which was revealed during the recent Xbox Game Showcase. Although the trailer starts off looking like an Unreal Engine 5 remake of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, the moment you see soldiers, robots, and glowing ghoul-esque enemies, you know you're in for some Fallout-tinged fun. Add to that the old-fashioned choir music and English accents, and the result is a scratch on that age-old itch of a post-apocalypse in the United Kingdom, which is basically where we're heading anyway thanks to Brexit. And the Tories. And just everything. Just, like, why is it so bad?
Life's a piece of shit when you look at it.
With its first-person perspective, a variety of weapons to wield, an intriguing world to explore, and unique Britishness that looks like if Last of the Summer Wine had a baby with threads, this 2025 Xbox and PC title is indisputably one to watch. And yes, it will be day one on Game Pass.
2. Batman: Arkham Shadow.
I love every Arkham game, even the black sheep of the family, Arkham VR. My wee heart will never get bored of playing a classical piano rendition of Three Blind Mice to gain access and descend into my Batcave. And here we are in 2024 with a surprise VR sequel, prequel type situation with Batman Arkham Shadow. While it technically wasn't announced at Summer Games Fest, we did get a story trailer that confirmed the return of fan favourite Roger Craig Smith as Batman. And when the trailer came to a triumphant finish and we returned to Geoff in the studio, it was clear about half the audience had taken the opportunity to go for a piss. Because here's the thing, not only is Arkham Shadow a VR exclusive, which means about 6 people are going to play it, it's also a MetaQuest 3 exclusive. I mean, who do you know who owns a MetaQuest 3? This genuinely could be the first Batman game that's played solely by the developers and Batman Arkham videos, and that's it. But you know what? I'm still ridiculously excited for this game, because Arkham Shadow is being developed by Camouflage Studios, best known for 2020's Iron Man VR, a game that, while a bit too repetitive for me, nailed the feeling of being an alcoholic billionaire piloting a flying death tank. And what's got me really desperate to play it is that from details released after the Summer Games Fest trailer, it looks like Camouflage are challenging themselves to adapt all of the Arkham series' famous mechanics to VR, from gliding to free flow combat and stealth predator sections. And I tell you something, if they can pull that off, then I think we're in for something really special with Arkham Shadow when it launches sometime this autumn. So count me excited, and if anyone is looking for a kidney, then please hit that link in the description where I'm selling one or both of mine to raise funds for a MetaQuest 3.
3. Mixtape. The Artful Escape is probably my pick for the most overlooked game of the last decade. Seriously, it's on Game Pass right now, so go play it and then come back here and get hyped with me for Mixtape, which is the next game from those incredibly talented developers over at Beethoven and Dinosaur. Dripping with 80s nostalgia, Mixtape follows 3 teens on their last night of high school as they set off on an adventure to reach the last party before graduation. Along the way, the soundtrack will lead you into psychedelic dreamlike scenarios where you'll relive the core memories that built their friendship. From first kisses to run-ins with the police, this classic coming-of-age tale is set to music that would unfortunately get this video demonetized in a heartbeat. Featuring the Smashing Pumpkins, Iggy Pop, Joy Division, and more, it's good vibes in a video game, and it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC sometime in 2025. Oh yeah, and Game Pass day one.
There have been noise complaints.
Okay.
4. The Thing Remastered.
John Carpenter's The Thing, the remake of 1951's The Thing from Another World, based on the short story Who Goes There, is my favourite movie of all time. And it led to a prequel movie, comic book series, and even rumblings of a television series. But did you know it also had a video game? In fact, John Carpenter himself, massive gamer that he is, considers the game to be the canon sequel over the comic book. This half-remembered PS2 title has some really unique ideas, but overall feels like those ideas are being held back from their full potential by the hardware. With greater enemy variety, less janky shooting, and greater subtlety and depth in the infection system, this could have been a masterpiece. But you ask, why am I talking about a movie tie-in game from 2002? This is a video about Summer Game Fest 2024. Well, if you weren't watching IGN Live during the Summer Game Fest weekend, you'll have missed that a remaster of this would-be classic is currently in development from Night Dive Studios. Now that is remaster, not remake, so I'm not expecting the total overhaul that this game deserves. But being made in Night Dive's proprietary engine means that this game will now support 4K resolution and 120 FPS, as well as new achievements, unspecified quality of life improvements, as well as new dynamic lighting, shadows, improved models and textures, as well as touched up environments, which all comes together to mean that this game, which has always deserved a little more attention, can finally get it when it releases later this year on basically everything: PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, as well as Nintendo Switch.
5. Metaphor ReFantazio.
Persona meets Fire Emblem is a dream for many weebs like me. Both game series have blossomed into RPGs that blend types of turn-based combat with rich life sim elements, from socializing to gardening and much more. Therefore, the idea of merging the two concepts doesn't require many mental gymnastics. So when Atlus formally revealed Metaphor ReFantazio back in 2023, this apparent collision of both worlds was well received. Now, it's not an official collaboration or anything, but the setting and aesthetic chimes well with Nintendo's tactical franchise. However, this is Atlus through and through, so expect it to bear many of the hallmarks of their long-running high school drama. Set in the medieval fantasy realm of the United Kingdom of Uchronia, which is described as a mirror to the contemporary real world, Metaphor ReFantazio begins with the assassination of the king, resulting in a tournament throughout the land to determine a successor. The player character is a young man reviled for possessing forbidden magic, who gets pulled into an adventure in order to save their friend, the Prince of Uchronia. Quite a famous friend for someone unpopular. What is it about royals and shady associates? Featuring a unique battle system combining turn-based and real-time action with social elements like forming and developing bonds, and fans of previous Atlus games should be prepared to lose a lot of time to this striking title. Metaphor ReFantazio releases October 11, 2024, coming to PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series XS.
We're halfway through, and if you're still here, then you should definitely subscribe to us here on FGS, as we help you discover your new favourite games that are flying under the radar every single day. Seriously, smash the like button too. Go on, it's the most wonderful time of the gaming year after all. 6. Duckside.
If you're normally a chicken when it comes to open world survival games, why not be a duck? In Duckside, you'll take on the role of a duck, fighting for survival in a persistent world, teeming with danger. Explore a sprawling island environment, scavenging for resources, crafting tools and weapons, and building your own base from the trash you've looted off some other guy's corpse. But you're not alone. Take to the skies and engage in thrilling PvP and PvE encounters with other ducks. As a duck, you can fly, glide, hover, accelerate, and dive, while shooting and wearing a fantastic looking top hat. Duckside promises a unique blend of survival mechanics, crafting, base building, and intense duck-on-duck action. There is a demo out now as part of Steam's Next, but the full release date has yet to be announced.
7. Angerfoot.
You know what I love in an FPS? Being able to boot stuff. Having the choice of all the weapons in the world, but still being allowed to just kick folk whenever and wherever I like. Whether it's Condemned, Criminal Origins, Wolfenstein, Dying Light, or Bulletstorm, I just love when I'm able to introduce enemies to the soul of my size 7s. Yeah, I've got strangely small feet, thank you for asking. And trust those weird little goblins at Devolver Digital to find and publish an experience where the name of the game literally and figuratively is all about kicking. Angerfoot comes from developer Free Lives, and it's a lightning fast flurry of kicking doors and kicking faces. A fast-paced, trial and error, adrenaline-fueled race through slums, sewers and skyscrapers, dispatching anything that moves with boots as well as bullets. What's great about Angerfoot though is that while of course new weapons are introduced as the game progresses, more excitingly, new shoes are introduced that bestow all sorts of wild powers upon your kicking abilities, such as kickers that allow you to deliver a flurry of kicks at once, crocs that send your enemies floating into the air for easier bullet dispatching, and boots that allow you to rocket blast into the air with a single jump. The list goes on and on and on. If Angerfoot tickles your fancy, then there's not long to wait because it releases on the 11th of July this year, and there's a demo on Steam you can play right at this very second. And I tell you something, I haven't been able to put it down since I downloaded it. I would have liked a health warning though for the moment where it asks you to feed your partner some popcorn using only your toes. Oh god. That's a mechanic only Tarantino could love.
8. Screenbound.
As if to flip the virtual bird in the face of Oscar Wilde himself, art imitates digital addicted life in a forthcoming dimension-blending Screenbound. Quite unlike any video game I think I've ever seen before. Fez, sit down. Screenbound relies on your ability to use multiple perspectives to solve environmental puzzles and avoid dangers present in the world. After stumbling across the Cuboy, a handheld device that your mother invented and hid from you in the garage? Huh?
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
You find that this Game Boy-esque machine gives you a window into an entirely different dimension. As you navigate the 3D environment from a first-person perspective, you simultaneously move your Cuboy sprite across its complementary 2D levels. Whatever you do in the 3D world affects the 2D world and vice versa, leading to intricate and mind-melting interactions between the two. For example, a dead end in the 3D world can be solved by climbing a ladder only present in the 2D world, and a seemingly impossible jump on the Cuboy is accomplished by utilizing a fan that you can see in the real world. Not only does Screenbound come with an entire brain-blistering campaign and release, it is also opening the creative doors to all players with its immensely intriguing level editor. This lets you build a traditional 2D level, only for it to auto-generate a 3D level to accompany it? That's sick as fuck! You can get your hands on Screenbound on PC one day. They haven't actually said yet, but you know, hopefully not long. Anyway, bye!
Nine. Metal Slug Tactics.
So who's ready for a genre-bending explosion from the past with Metal Slug Tactics? It's a tactical RPG with roguelike elements, set in the iconic universe you know and love. You'll assemble a squad of familiar faces like Marco Rossi and Tama Roving, utilising their unique weapons and skills to strategize and overcome challenging missions. There are procedurally generated maps and a die and retry system that encourages you to fail and mess around to your heart's content. Customize your squad members with the best looking bandanas you can find, and also upgrades and abilities, but whatever. Outmaneuver and outgun enemies on destructible battlefields while engaging in some series classic slapstick hijinks. With the return of iconic characters, nostalgia-inducing pixel art graphics, and a soundtrack that will get you pumped. Metal Slug Tactics looks to capture the essence of the franchise while offering a fresh, tactical twist with roguelike elements. There's a demo available now as part of Steam's Next Fest, and a full release is coming out at the end of 2024 for PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and X and S.
10. Blumhouse.
When Netflix first announced they were getting into gaming, it seemed like an interesting proposition, and sure, they've got some absolute bangers on Netflix games, including some titles absolutely more people should play, like Before Your Eyes and Kentucky Route Zero, but their first-party output is, well, it's trash. Those rushed top-down Stranger Things games, the Queen's Gambit game, which, I mean, it's chess. I mean, it's not even chess. It's just like specific plays that you can do in chess. It's not even really a puzzle game, but I was reminded of this whole debacle when it was announced that Blumhouse would be announcing the first in their slate of games at Summer Game Fest. Images of FNAF, the game of the movie of the game, and the Conjuring Endless Runner wormed their way into my head, so when Jason Blum came on stage, I was braced for the worst. Imagine my shock, horror, and elation then when the slate of games they announced wasn't just good, it looked amazing. Instead of making first-party IP titles from scratch, they've picked up some original and really good-looking indie titles, and we're gonna go through them real quick right now. Grave Seasons is a Stardew Valley-esque farming/dating sim where you're also solving a slate of murders happening in this small town. The Simulation, which was announced for the very first time right here, looks like an awesome fourth-wall nudging detective game where you play as a game designer asked to look at a video game which was the only piece of evidence at a crime scene. Creasol, Theatre of Idols, is described as a twisted first-person adventure where you're beset upon by awful creatures and your only weapon against them is your own blood. Need I say more? You're already sold. Crazy part is, though, I'm only halfway through the slate of games. Fear the Spotlight is a third-person, classic-style survival horror game where you must survive a seance gone wrong, coming to PC and consoles later this year. Sleep Awake is a psychedelic first-person horror game from Spec Ops: The Line and 9 Inch Nails veterans about the last city on Earth where people are disappearing in their sleep. And most mind-blowingly of all, at least for me, is getting more images and info about Half Mermaid, developer of Immortality's second project, Project C, one of the two games they're working on, currently known as Project C and D. We learned that it's gonna be a collaboration between Silent Hill Shattered Memories and Immortality writer Sam Barlow and David Cronenberg's son and director of Possessor and Infinity Pool, Brandon Cronenberg, which to me is bordering on Silent Hills level collaborations. This is insane. Honestly, it's more than a little unfair for Blumhouse to come onto the stage with a lineup this strong, and for me, they absolutely stole the whole of the Summer Game Fest showcase.
Thank you guys all. Great to hear the fans out there.
And there you have it. There were 10 games that you probably missed at SGF 2024, and they should now be nestled safely into your wish lists. If you like this, then check out the other videos on the channel and subscribe, as we aim to help you discover something new in gaming every single day. Bye-bye.